What's up, guys, and welcome to Cinnabar Calisthenics. Today, I want to talk to you guys about losing a calisthenics skill. Maybe you've taken a little bit of time off the gym, maybe you've gone on a vacation, you come back and you're like, all right, let me do that straddle front lever I used to be able to do, and then you can't. And you start to panic and you think, what do I do with my life? So today, I want to talk specifically about that and why you should maybe not panic, because that's what I'm going through right now. Before we get started, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to a viewer. Deepu, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, left a comment on my how to do your first pull-up video, mentioning how he couldn't do a single pull-up, and after watching that video, doing negatives, he can now do 5 pull-ups. So if you're like Deepu, you're stuck on pull-ups, you can't get that first pull-up, check out that video. It worked for Deepu, he got up to 5 pull-ups, it'll work for you too. Losing a calisthenics skill, not exactly where we want to be in life, right? And the reason I bring this up is because last year I had an amazing year with training. When it came to my physique, I got leaner than I've ever been in my entire life, and it felt pretty amazing. And with skill work, I was finally doing straddle planches comfortably, and that was crazy to me because that was my entire goal when I first started training calisthenics. But for some reason, I hit a bit of a low point. I'm not exactly sure what it was. Maybe it was the stress of cutting that much weight. Maybe I just needed a bit of a break from training and cutting weight. I can't really say for sure. But whatever it was, I had very little motivation at the time to train planches, train front levers, and really even train handstands. I mean, I was still in the gym regularly throughout the week. I was still training. I just wasn't focusing and dedicating time to calisthenics skill work. So I had a few months off. How am I doing? Well, my handstands are pretty consistent. It took about a day to get my kick-ups back to where they used to be, where I could pretty consistently kick up into a handstand and hold it. And once I get up, my balance is really where it used to be before, so no issues there. As for the straddle front lever, I still have it, but my holds are a few seconds lower than what they used to be, but I'm not too surprised there either. But the straddle planche was the big one. It was my goal when I started calisthenics, and even when I was at my peak, it still felt like it was on thin ice. Like that was the one I was definitely going to lose the quickest. So, where am I at now?
Oh, hi, thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Not great, but not horrible. So yeah, I briefly got into position, my legs started dipping a little bit, and then I lost my balance and nearly made a complete fool out of myself. And I doubt I have to say this, but it wasn't the most motivating thing in the world. And while that may be true, I'm still not panicking. And here's why. So I didn't hit a straddle planche, at least not what I would count as a straddle planche, but it felt familiar. In other words, it didn't feel how it used to feel before I could do a straddle planche. How is this even possible? This time around, it felt more like, yeah, I used to be able to do this, and it definitely feels possible. I'm just a little out of practice. Those two feelings are drastically different feelings. It took me years to jump from the this feels impossible camp to the this feels familiar camp. And even without training the straddle planche for a few months, I still feel like I'm in the this feels familiar camp, which is good. So for that reason, I'm not panicking, because deep down, I know I've done this before. It still feels possible. I just need to focus on it again. But an even bigger reason why I'm not panicking is because of my body weight. And if this sounds familiar, it's because I've talked about it before in my how to do more pull-ups video. Calisthenics, and specifically the skill work in calisthenics, is very body weight dependent, even more so if you're tall. A little bit of a pro tip here. This is one reason why you shouldn't beat yourself up when you go online and you read these posts about a guy who got a full planche in 3 months, and he also is 5'2" and weighs 120 pounds. It matters. When I was able to do straddle planches consistently last year, I was around 160 pounds. Today, I'm just under 180 pounds. That's a nearly 20-pound difference. And that 20 pounds, when it comes to your body weight, can be pretty easy to write off because you don't feel any different. You wake up every morning, you're like, I feel the same. But pick up a 20-pound weight. I know this is only 15. You get the point. Imagine this no longer being on your body, and it starts to put the straddle planche into perspective. In the same way that doing pull-ups with an extra 20 pounds is going to change the amount of pull-ups I can do, having an extra 20 pounds on my body, just my body weight, is also going to affect how easily I can do something like a straddle planche when that's already near my max in the first place. So for that reason, I'm not panicking because I'm like 99% sure, based on the familiar feeling of the straddle planche as well as my additional body weight, that if I could just snap my fingers and become 160 pounds right now, that I would be able to do a straddle planche that looks much better than this and looks more like the straddle planche I used to be able to do last year. So to quickly recap, if you go back to a skill and you can no longer do it, ask yourself, does it feel impossible the way it did when I first started? Or does it feel very difficult? It just feels like I took a little bit of time off. If it's just a little bit of time off, you just need a little bit more practice. It's there, you just need a little bit of work. And similarly, if you've added a little bit of body weight or 20 pounds like I have, then also consider that, because that might be the one missing link between your failed straddle planche and you successfully doing one. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I wanted to share that with you because it's legitimately something I'm going through right now. And there is a part of my brain that wants to panic and freak out and think, oh my God, you're never going to do a straddle planche ever again. But the more rational side of me says, it's okay. Just get back into it and it'll come. So if you guys have any questions about this video, feel free to leave a comment below. And as always, if you'd be so kind, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. I hope you guys enjoy Cinnabar Calisthenics, and I'll see you in the next video.